You see it. Let's get it. AWS Lambda Serverless is the first malware specifically used to attack Lambda, a serverless process on AWS. So let's go through it real quick. Just a super quick slideshow. AWS Lambda Serverless is an event-driven computer service that lets you run code virtually type of applications. You can trigger over 200 AWS services, software as a service applications, and only pay for what you use. The big part of that, run code without provisioning or managing infrastructure. Simply write and upload a zip file or container image, and you're off and running. Right. So that's just a quick representation. You take pictures, you drop them on S3 bucket. That will trigger Lambda to come up. You run your code, and you can resize your picture, push them to a certain mobile device, or upload them to a certain particular website and size them for mobile or tablet size. The big deal is when you drop the photographs into the S3 bucket. That's the event trigger to run your Lambda code, and you can do what you want to with the code, .NET, Go, PHP, Java, tons of representation. So researchers at the Kodo Security say they discovered the first publicly known malware specifically targeting Amazon Web Service computer platform, Lambda, signaling a newly emerging cloud threat that business should become aware of. The researchers have dubbed the malware Genona, the name of domain that attacks communicated with, and say that it was utilized to enable cryptocurrency mining. Right? So, always hackers are going to be out there, especially the black hat in the nation states are going to be attacking compute, and we all know AWS is the 800-pound gorilla in there. Right? So, in a statement in response to an inquiry about the reported malware discovered, AWS said Lambda is secure by default, and AWS continues to operate as designed. Customers are able to run a variety of applications on Lambda, and this is otherwise indistinguishable to discover the ability to run similar software in other on-premises or cloud compute environment. AWS said in a statement, adding that the company acceptable use policies prohibit the violation of security on any systems. Right. So policy, we know policy doesn't protect computers, right? You need to have some implementation and computers to protect computers, right? The policy is not going to do it, right? So part of that is detection is lacking. Cato Security co-founder and CTO Chris Doman said the businesses should expect that service environment will follow a similar threat trajectory so that a container environment, which has noted are non-commonly impacted by malware attacks. Among other things, that means that threat detection in service environments will need to catch up. The new way of running code in service environment requires new security tools because the existing ones simply don't have the visibility. They won't see what's going on. It's just so different. So since you don't have or control the servers, how can you have observation or logging into those services, right? When those are actually controlled by Amazon itself. That's the beauty of it, right? But that's the security part of it. Right? In addition to the growing popularity of Lambda for running application code without the need of provision, there are other reasons that businesses can expect Lambda to be increasingly a target by actors going forward. The issue of misconfiguration that exposed in Amazon S3 buckets has gotten less severe in recent years, in part through warnings of AWS self when a user is about to make sort of mistakes. But that's not the only way for malicious actors to access an S3 bucket. The other way is to gain access via a service that connects to S3 bucket. So you can go on the Lambda and get access to an S3 bucket. And S3 bucket is where you keep a lot of critical information, secret information, and high security information. HIPAA, social security number, nuclear codes, right? A lot of people keep that in the S3 bucket, which is weird to me. I would keep all that in the database, but well, who am I? So from a security feature for a Lambda service so a couple security checks you should go over. Restrict IAM permission, remove risks of attackers getting access to too much data. Start with AWS Lambda basic execution role policy, then add specific and granular permission. Restrict Lambda environment, restrict privileges on the environment as well. Write to disk process execution, not just IAM. Automate checks against SQL injection. This is among the most common attacks in a web application. Statistically analyze your templates with CMG, NAG, 45 plus rules to catch potentially insecure infrastructure, misconfiguration files, include files for a couple for serverless, encrypt environment variables with your own key. Environment variables are always encrypted, but consider controlling encryption with your own key. These are some of the things when you execute a Lambda service, you look in the environment variables to pull information out. Hackers are trying to get to that same information, so you should encrypt it. Sometimes you try to export those environment variables and steal them. So this was super quick. Be careful with AWS Lambda serverless. First malware seen on the scene. Be careful out on those cybersecurity streets. Professor Black Ops, please subscribe.